easily coming into our higher, better selves. And again, not a big self-esteem thing or cheering crowds. It's just where we find aligned with our soul, and it just feels home. It just feels home. The ancient Celts had this beautiful phrase for it, which I love. It makes a whole sermon. We've done a series on this phrase, and the phrase is thin places. Doesn't that make total sense that there are just some places in the world that feel thin? Feels like the spiritual natural world, instead of being, appearing to feel far apart, all of a sudden it's like very, very close. We just touch it. And it's the same with some people. Some people, they just bring out those better angels of our nature very easily. And it's just because for some reason we're resonating on a deep level with them. So I want to talk about that for a minute. And talk about it in light of this passage from the Gospel of John, and we're taking this out of the book Secrets of Heaven, and it's an explanation of the phrase Jesus said to his disciples, "So that you may eat and drink at my table in my kingdom." And it's talking about sort of this idea of communion and this communion that's going to happen in heaven, this communion that happens on earth, sort of the Holy Supper communion. And we see it both at a very natural level and at a spiritual level as well. And how do we see that as at a spiritual level? What does it mean to eat and drink with God at a spiritual level? Eating and drinking at the Lord's table in his kingdom, in other words, a way to say heaven, then clearly means something else, namely enjoying more than just eating and drinking, literally, namely enjoying a perception of what is good and true. So it's interesting, right? Again, that's deep theological speak, and now let's take it, let's move it along into like really common language. We just know that there are places and people where we are better when we're around them, and we're better when we're in those places. That we're just around them, and there's just this perception of what is good and true. I think about, no doubt some of you watching this morning, some of the wonderful congregants here at New Church Live, probably the vast majority of them, anytime in conversation, it just helps, because I always feel like, oh yeah, I understand what's good and true much more. And it's a perceptive part. It's not, you think of a friend who you just feel that way around. It's not that you're going to them to get a guest lecture on topic A, B, or C. No, you're going to be around their presence. And somehow being around their presence creates a perception in your heart and in your soul and in your mind about what love and wisdom really are in life. That's kind of a fascinating thing, right? Because it's not the answers that they're given. It's the spirit that they're living in. Again, not the answers, it's the spirit. And the spirit, ways that are almost impossible to describe, the spirit then somehow starts to give us the answers. And that's the way perception works, and we've all been around people who we could meet with and talk with, and all of a sudden we come out like, oh, I feel so much better. I feel like I have a direction, feel like I have an answer. And they may not have given you an answer at all. It's just their spirit. I'll pick on my mom. My mom's a wonderful person. And I feel like I can talk to her, and I just come out there feeling like I have a better sense of what to do next. And again, she's 89 years old, and she doesn't have a cell phone, and she doesn't have an ATM card. Like, there's a lot of things that she can offer the answers on, but she has this amazing spirit about her. And that spirit is what in turn starts to create answers in and of itself. So then the other part of this, friends, is that, all right, so if there's places we can go that are thin places, if there are people we can be with, we know they're thin places, we just feel ourselves gently pulled into being our better selves because we're in that place or with those people. And again, some of the time the two go together. I know we have dear friends who might find that in Ocean City, for example, at a family vacation. Little thin place with a place, little thin place with people. And that's really good. And so that's kind of the way we can do it. But then it becomes like, well, what can we actually, looking back on it, what can we actually do? Well, we can be that for other people. So we know the other people who are like that for us. Look at the qualities they have. What do they do? What do they say? Probably more importantly, what don't they do? What don't they say? How do they bring that spirit about them? Even down to their body posture. I mean, people who are really good at this are really good at full body listening, which is an art unto itself. And really do the best you can as we get closer to the weekend here to be that person for others. How does that look for you? How can you really be that for another human being as best you can? And I think you really will find it to be quite a miracle. I find it to be a miracle all the time. It really is something else, to watch how this all works, and to watch the incredible power some people have in the world. I'll close on this. This is an ancient Jewish tradition that I heard, and we probably have somebody who's more familiar with it. It's off the top of my head, so I may have it wrong in some of the specifics. But there's one particular line of Judaism that believes that there's like 32, I think it's 32 righteous individuals in the world, and they're sort of where heaven plugs into the world. They're the people. And I was reading about it once, and again, I might have 32, might be the wrong number, but I was reading about it once in a book. And this person said, well, these people change the consciousness of a room simply by entering it. So they enter a room, and all of a sudden you're like, something's different here. This is a different kind of person. And I certainly have been blessed to be around some of those people on occasion. I'm thinking Eva Kor, the Holocaust survivor. Like she changes a room when she since passed, I should say. She did change a room the second she entered it. And no doubt that she changed heaven a little bit when she entered there. So those are the kind of, that's what we're aspiring to do. And I don't think the people who do that set out on an agenda to do it. They've just practiced life so much that we just have that huge trust, and they just feel like home anytime we're around them. So that's the thought for today, friends. There are places to go, and go there. And there are people to be with. Be with them. And, be your own self that way, your own home for others as well. So I hope that makes sense, dear friends. And what we're going to do now is we're going to shift gears. And we're going to shift gears here as we do at New Church Live. We're going to listen to a little meditative bell, do a little meditation, little prayer, little blessing, and then we will say hi to our friends who've joined us on Facebook Live. So please, let's all get a big breath. Be still and know that I am God. Be still and know that I am. Be still and know that I. Be still and know that. Be still and know. Be still and. Be still. Be. Our Father, who art in the heavens, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, as in heaven, so upon the earth. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts, as we also forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever. Amen. May the Lord bless you and keep you. May the Lord make his face to shine upon you and be gracious unto you. May the Lord lift up his countenance upon you, bring you peace, and bring you home. Amen. All right, dear friends, let's give a little cheery hello to folks over here. And see who's been able to join us this morning. All right, a little rainy out there today. And then, all right, let us see. Come on, Nelly. All right. I feel like we should have the Jeopardy theme going. All right, no comments on that page. Just let me flip over to this page. See what we can see over here. All right. No comments over there. All right, dear friends. Well, listen, please feel free to leave a comment later in the day. We love to hear from you. Love to hear what your thoughts are. God bless all of you, and we will see you again tomorrow here on 10 Minutes of Morning.